Welcome to Imprint, a podcast about creating a home and life you love. I'm Natalie Walton, an interior designer, stylist, and best-selling author focused on an holistic approach to homes. Each week, I'm sharing insights and interviews about the creative process to help you enhance both your interiors and well-being, as well as provide you with the tools and resources to make considered and sustainable choices with all that you create. Hello everyone, welcome to Imprint. I'm very excited to have you here today because I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different to what I usually do. I have been speaking to my amazing students within Design and Grow all of this morning, and I've got a few more one-to-one sessions this afternoon. And we have just actually had this massive session in the morning all about some quick win strategies. So I wanted to share some with you and also give you some ideas as we get to this, approaching this final quarter of the year. And if you have just come out of summer and you're looking to get back into your stride, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere or if you're in Australia and really wanting to make the most of this final part of the year within your creative business, I trust that you're going to find this episode really valuable because these are strategies that work and have been really helping people within Design and Grow. And like I said, I really wanted to share them with you as well. I know that many of my students also listen to the podcast as well, which is amazing and great. So like I said, we are fast approaching the pointy end of the year. I want you to think about for a moment, how has this year been shaping up for you? There's been a lot going on. There has been a lot of inflationary pressure, a lot of talk about the economy. In the US, there's all the talk of the election, a little bit of uncertainty. There's been a lot going on in the mix. And, when I speak to people, I think that there are people who are feeling it. However, there are just as many people who are also doing really, really well. I was actually talking to one of the amazing students, and she's got an incredible interior design business. And the last time we spoke, I was really encouraging her to put up her rates, and she did. And she said it's just one of the best things that she's done for her business. And when you do things like that, it gives you just that little bit more breathing room. And, and everyone puts their rates up. I mean, Netflix puts their rates up and they never ask for permission. All of those kind of businesses, those software businesses, they just say, the rates, the price is going up, the subscription's going up, and we never ever question it. But when it's our own business, we can feel so much resistance to this. And again, this is something that has been coming up a lot, and really thinking about what is that for you when you start to think about putting yourself out there to ask for the sale, to put your price up. When you feel that resistance within you, what is that telling you? And to also know that when people say no, because inevitably we get no, when we get that no, it doesn't mean no forever. It doesn't mean no, there is something wrong with you. It doesn't mean no, I don't like you, or no, you're not good at what you do. Often it means no, not yet. But we so often see that as, the be all, the end all, like that's the end of the conversation and we're never ever going to bother them again. But the studies show that we actually need to reach out to people at least 5 times before we will get a yes. So I really want you to think about how many times are you reaching out to prospective clients or customers before you get that yes, because we need to be resilient and we need to be professional with the way that we run our business and not take it personally. So often as creatives, we take everything personally and we take it to mean so much about us, but really we are just putting an offer out there into the world and we are just waiting to get that feedback from the market, get that feedback from people, but we can't give up at that first little hurdle. We need to keep going. We need to keep putting ourselves out there, and to really, that is how we're going to get traction. That is how we're going to get results. And that is ultimately how we are going to grow our businesses. So today I really want to share, like I said, 3 ideas that will really help you make some more money in your business. So if you, like I said, if you're looking to get back on track, if you're really wanting to finish the year strong, and I really encourage you to think in that way, I want you to think not about all that has gone before you, but what is ahead of you, and what is positive and what is good about what is coming up. So let's step into this new month. Let's step into, this upcoming quarter with, a lot of positivity in terms of what is possible. So the first idea that I want to share with you is to focus on the top 10%. And so what I mean by this is, as I said, I've just been speaking to a whole bunch of amazing women within Design and Grow who've got a range of creative businesses. And one of the women that I was speaking to, she has got a shop, a physical retail shop. And she also does interior design consulting. And she feels pulled in a lot of different directions. And I think we can all feel like this at some points, like there are so many things to do. And when there are so many things to do, what is the thing that I should focus on first? Where should I even start first? When, we can feel completely overwhelmed and we feel like we're always in reactive mode. I don't know if you've ever had that experience where you feel like you're constantly sort of jumping and you're in that startled, almost like flight or fright mode. And it's like your energy levels and your kind of cortisol levels are really high, and you just feel really anxious in many ways. It starts to affect your decision making and other areas of your life and your business, and it does have a knock-on effect with your income as well. So, first of all, when we're in that situation, we need to kind of first of all look at, the facts. Because as I was saying to this beautiful and amazing woman, it is so easy to make things mean something. So if you are in the Northern Hemisphere and you've just come out of summer and you're sort of thinking like, summer was a bit rocky, then, first of all, look at, well, is summer always rocking? Is it better to just accept that this is a season where, the income levels are a little bit all over the place, and look at how you did last year? And so when we were discussing that, she actually said, you're right. Like, we're actually up on last year, but we can, like I said, when we're in that moment of thinking like, it hasn't been great, quarter 2 was really great, but, this quarter hasn't maybe been quite as good. Well, look back historically to see where you were at, this time last year. And when she did, she could see that she was actually ahead, which was amazing because we had set a solid foundation in those early quarters. So first of all, acceptance of like, what is going on and really basing it in fact, looking at the data, looking at the information. And then when you feel like, okay, I don't know whether to focus on my systems, whether to focus on my staff, I don't know whether to look at my product, I don't know what are all the things that I should be doing, and you're sort of going around in a tailspin about it. What I would suggest to you, if you're feeling this, is to, like I said, focus on that 10%. So think about what is going to make a significant difference to your business. And often it is not chasing, 100 small things. It's instead focusing on 1 or 2 big things in your business. Now, often when that is getting more sales into the business, that can solve a lot of your other problems as well. So maybe it is looking at, if I can get, 2 big orders every week, or if I can book 3 more clients every month, that will solve a lot of problems. And then looking back and reversing engineering back from that and thinking, okay, well, let's just say I need to get, 2 more clients this month, and that will solve a lot of my problems. So what activities do I need to do to get those 2 more clients? And, often this can be, if we've been in business for some period of time, it could be re-engaging past customers or clients. It could be, just doing, and I'm going to get into some strategies in a moment, like some reaching out to people. There are so many different things that we can do to start getting that activity. For this particular person in relation to her store, I said, well, maybe it's about having like a color workshop event and having that in your store and then upselling product on the back end of that. Thinking creatively, looking at what can you do to really get a couple of those bigger orders. Maybe it's even just looking through your abandoned carts. Maybe it's being more active in your customer service. Whatever it is for you, I can guarantee you there is a way that you can find some of those bigger clients and really focus on getting those, and that will make a significant difference to your business. The second big idea I wanted to share with you is actually kind of broken up into three. It touches on the first one, which is just getting some quick wins. So often in our businesses, there is some low-hanging fruit. And so we want to think about what is that low-hanging fruit in our business that if we go after that, that is a way to quickly generate some income or some cash flow into our business to really help everything, the machinery to keep ticking over and turning over and just giving us some financial relief. So one very, very simple but often overlooked way that we can do this is just to share how people can work with you this month. It's a really good idea. You can do this on social media. You can do this through your email. You can do this through your CRM, your database, your leads, really looking and sharing, just letting people know, like, these are the different ways that you can work with me this month. You can even put it in a PS on your signature. There are many ways, and yet we so often, we think like, oh, I don't want to, put myself out there in that way. Well, obviously you can't just be passive in your business. You can't sit back and just think like, oh, people are going to come to you. Instead, you need to be proactive and let people know how they can work with you. And also, it always helps to have some kind of sense of urgency or deadline or limited availability, which is often the truth. I mean, often, we can't take on 50 people, 50 new clients, but we could say, I can work with 3 clients this month. So, letting people know that and sharing that on socials, sharing that in your other ways that you communicate with people out in the world, that is really important as well, because, most of the people don't even see our posts most of the time. So we need to remind them regularly about this. This is really important. Another idea that I shared as part of this kind of quick win strategy was to do what I call the thoughtful check-in. And so often we have contact with people through various ways. It can be past clients, it can be people in our local community, it can be, past leads, people who have interacted with us in some way. Maybe we've got some kind of resource on our website and they've signed up for that. Maybe we do a weekly email or a newsletter and they often open that. And so thinking about, how we can reach out to those people to, in a thoughtful way, just check in with them and just sort of say something along the lines of, how are you going? Like, I'd love to, how's everything been since we last spoke? I was just thinking of you today. And I'm just wondering, are you still struggling with that? Are you still looking to, experience that, and whatever that outcome is for that particular person? So we can do a really thoughtful check-in with people and, and let them know that, we've just been thinking of them and just wondering how they're going with whether it's their home, maybe you help somebody with a kitchen renovation and, you haven't kind of contacted with them, for some time. And so you could reach out and just say, hey, I was just thinking of you, how are you going with your kitchen? Are you enjoying the space? How's it all going? And they might respond like, oh, I'm loving it. And, and sometimes what can happen is of their own accord, they might say, actually, I've been thinking about reaching back out to you because now we're ready to do the bathroom. These things, we need to engage in conversation. Again, we can't just be passive. We can't just be kind of like sitting back expecting the world to come to us. We need to kind of stand up and move forward and put ourselves out there. And honestly, when you do that, it sounds almost too good to be true, but honestly, it works. Trust me, it works. And another idea in relation to some quick wins is to really think about your referrals. And referrals are such a powerful way to drive business into your business and drive sales. And it is such a leveraged way to grow your business as well. And so you can do this whether you've got a service-based business or a product-based business, and really kind of creating some sort of incentive and reaching out to your list or reaching out to your audience or past customers or past clients that, hey, if you would like to, we would love for you to refer somebody, a friend or somebody that you know, for our product or our service, and you can give them some kind of incentive to do so. And you think about, like, if you've got, I don't know, let's just say you do that to 100 people, and they then, of course, like with anything, you're never going to get like all 100 people do it, but you get a handful of those people do it, but they might reach out to like 5 friends each. Like, you're expanding your reach in an exponential way. And this is how compounding growth can really propel the growth of your own business. It sort of becomes this idea like of a flywheel, like it just gets bigger and bigger and starts to move faster and faster because it starts to go beyond you. I mean, that's the truth of what's happened with my books, is that, I've put my books out into the world, but now people are sharing it with their friends and their family. And then those people's friends and family are then sharing it with theirs. And it kind of goes bigger and bigger and spreads wider and wider. And this all starts with me putting one book out into the world. And the same happens with referral requests. When you put that request out there into the world to people who are on your list or in your network, and you ask them to refer you, you do it in a nice way, you do it in a way that feels in integrity with you, you do it in a way that is clear and concise in terms of the action that you want those people to take. And, you can build a reward into that for them to do that. Maybe, they get a free consult, or maybe they get a discount, or maybe they get some kind of other, value add reward. So you need to think what feels most relevant for your business. But when you get that kind of referral, it can really propel the growth of your business. And it really is a sustainable business practice as well, because you want those types of things to be always part of your strategy in your business. The third big idea that I wanted to share with you in terms of, a really simple and effective way to make more money in your business is to raise your prices. But when you do so, always give people an opportunity to take advantage of the price before the price goes up, because this can be a great way to kind of like shake the tree with those clients so that, hey, we are going to be raising our prices at the end of the year. So if you've got some projects that you want to lock in now is a great time to do it. And obviously you want to give them enough time that they can take action. You want to also send them a few reminders. Remember that, people don't always act on the first opportunity that they're given with any particular thing. And, you can look at doing it in that way. So here are, like I said, I mean, in total, it's more than 3. Well, we've got 3, 4, 5. So really it's 5. So you've got a couple of bonus ones in there. But these are some really simple and effective ways that you can make more money in your creative business. Like I said, it doesn't have to be hard. It's all so often that we overcomplicate things. But the first big idea is to really focus on the money makers in your business in terms of who are those people that you should really focus on getting them to buy your product or service, because they are, at that top of that tree. They're the ones who are willing to pay, that 10 times the price than everyone else. They're sort of like those premium clients. Like, focus on those rather than focusing on all the low ticket offers and all of those sort of smaller valued clients, unless of course, that they might then convert to the bigger clients. I mean, that's another strategy for another day. I shared sort of 3 quick wins in terms of, like, first of all, making sure you share how people can work with you this month. That you do a thoughtful check-in with past customers or clients, or any previous leads that you can check in to see if they are, if they're ready to work with you now, and also using that referral network. And that's a really powerful way to drive growth in your business. And then the third big idea was to raise your prices, but give people an opportunity beforehand to take advantage of your current price. I mean, everyone, like I said at the start of this, everyone raises their prices. And I mean, all of those different subscription services, And at the very least, you should be raising your prices in relation to inflation. I mean, as small business owners, we shouldn't be having to bear the brunt of everything. And like the postal delivery rates go up, like everything, electricity goes up, all of these things go up, and we need to reflect that in our pricing. It's so important. So I hope that this has been valuable for you. As always, please leave me a comment in the review section. I would love to hear from you if you found this episode helpful, and you can always send me a DM on Instagram as well. I'm Natalie Walton. You've been listening to Imprint, and I hope you have a beautiful week. All of the links and info for this episode are at nataliewalton.com/podcast. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can get a direct download of the latest episode. And I really appreciate when you take a minute to rate and review, as well as share the love with someone you know who might benefit from this episode, or on social media. If you'd like to access a range of free resources, come visit my website, nataliewalton.com. Thank you to Jaeger Media for producing this podcast. And I would also like to acknowledge the people of the Bundjalung Nation where it was recorded, and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. I look forward to connecting again soon. I'm Natalie Walton, and you've been listening to Imprint.